Next up, we will hear from Mr. Harrell.
Good morning, Chairwoman Johnson, Ranking Member Lucas, and members of the committee. My name is Jeremy Harrell, and I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at ClearPath. ClearPath advances policies that reduce emissions in the energy and industrial sectors. An important note, we're funded by philanthropy, not by industry. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. Climate change is an urgent challenge that merits significant action across the public and private sectors. The recent IPCC report underscores that the world is not deploying existing clean energy technologies fast enough and is not investing enough into the technologies needed to achieve net zero. Fortunately, the United States is in a position to accelerate global emissions reductions while creating new jobs, increasing manufacturing competitiveness, and reasserting global leadership over Russia and China. The ongoing aggression by Russia underscores the need for the U.S. and our allies to be energy independent, and energy security and climate action do not have to be mutually exclusive. U.S. LNG can be up to 30% cleaner than Russian gas. American steel has the second lowest carbon intensity, while China, the world's largest steel exporter, is the third dirtiest. In sum, American manufactured products are over 40% more carbon efficient than the global average. Yet it's clear the world does not have the technologies it needs to realistically and affordably achieve net zero emissions. The IEA estimates only 2 of 46 technologies needed are on track. The U.S. should mobilize to innovate, to develop, and to demonstrate those technologies here and sell them around the world. We have a record of success. Solar, wind, natural gas, and battery growth over the last decade have driven us forward, and all are cost-effective globally, in part due to investments made here in the United States. I'd like to underscore 4 key points today. First, innovation is essential to achieving global emissions reductions. The previous IPCC analysis conducted a decade ago found that extremely high levels of temperature rise could be possible by 2100. The most recent reports conclude those consequences are no longer likely, thanks to innovation in clean energy technologies. No doubt, more work must be done, and it's also clear that policies that make clean energy more affordable and abundant are how the United States can help accelerate global progress. This committee's recent work on the innovation agenda, including your landmark Bipartisan Energy Act of 2020, should be commended, and the members should double down on it. Second, the big demonstration programs authorized by the Energy Act and funded by the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill are a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Nuclear, CCUS, direct air capture, energy storage, enhanced geothermal, and hydrogen are all among the technologies that the IPCC, the IEA, and others all forecast as essential to meeting climate goals. And they were all focuses of those recent bills. The DOE's efforts, like the Advanced Reactor Demonstration Program, the CCUS Technology Program, the Energy Storage Green Challenge, and the hydrogen hubs can all accelerate technological innovation. This committee's oversight of those efforts over the next 18 months is paramount to ensuring these taxpayer dollars are spent wisely and are successful in commercializing new technologies to combat climate. Third, difficult to decarbonize sectors merit increased attention. For example, in 2020, emissions from industrial facilities accounted for 24% of all U.S. emissions. By 2030, industrial facilities are expected to be the top source of U.S. emissions, exceeding those from both power plants and vehicles. While the Energy Act included great policies like the Bipartisan Clean Industrial Technologies Act, a greater focus on subsectors like steel and cement remain significant opportunities. Fortunately, this committee has already taken action on steel via the Bipartisan Super Act, which is now part of the larger American Competes USICA conference negotiations. The steel sector is well positioned given that American steel is among the world's cleanest. And even if all those efforts are successful on the innovation side, nearly all projections rely on some degree of carbon dioxide removal to offset residual emissions. And it's highly likely carbon dioxide removal will be needed to bring total emissions to net negative. Congress should build off previous legislative wins and support innovation in key areas like steel, cement, chemicals, carbon removal, and low-carbon fuels. And last but certainly not least, the U.S. mission must be build cleaner faster, not duplicate and litigate. It is abundantly clear that clean energy is not deploying fast enough. The U.S. should rapidly build what's available today while demonstrating new technologies in the pipeline as soon as possible. It does not matter how much money the public or private sector invest in climate if it continues to take 10 years to permit an offshore wind farm, 5 years to certify a new advanced nuclear reactor design, or 6 years to issue a Class 6 permit necessary to store billions of metric tons of captured CO2. the U.S. will simply not meet its emission reduction targets under the status quo regulatory environment. Congress should set bold goals to build projects in less than 2 years by modernizing permitting, reducing frivolous legal challenges, and prioritizing approvals of low-emission projects. This can all be done without compromising environmental stewardship or the public's opportunity to be involved. This committee is uniquely positioned to drive new clean energy technology forward through investments in American ingenuity and research. And your success is essential to accelerating global emissions reductions while growing American competitiveness. Thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to answering your questions.